Okay, hey guys, so I haven't really made any videos in a while, but that's mainly down to the fact that I've been recovering over the last week or so. I've been really busy in that, but long story short, I managed to get sunstroke and fall off a cliff edge and all the rest of it, and some wrestling injuries and whatnot, but feeling a lot better now, and I'm going to try and actually make 3 videos today. The first thing I'm going to talk about will be what was it? Oh, the X-Men franchise and how I feel about it, where they're at now. And then I'm going to be talking about San Diego Comic-Con and all the news that came out of that. And then I want to make a video just talking about my recent obsession with action figures. And then I've got other, obviously, videos in mind that I want to do and whatnot. So, yeah, this is my thoughts on the X-Men franchise. Now, Days of Future Past, I can honestly say I was super happy with it, but I think when you look at what it's being measured against, of course we're going to be happy with it. I mean, to me, the first 2 X-Men films, when I go back and watch them, there's just something about the X-Men films that doesn't grip me as much. But the first 2 were great, and then obviously, X-Men Origins Wolverine was terrible, X-Men Last Stand was terrible, and there was just, so much going wrong. Now, when they made First Class, I thought, oh, if I was them, I'd reboot it at this point. Because if you look, there are so many times when a superhero film doesn't do well, or if it's getting loads of complaints or what have you, obviously they stick for a reboot. Whereas X-Men's just been like, no, let's just carry on and just keep making films. I think one of their biggest problems, of course, is the fact that, obviously Cyclops, he's the leader of the X-Men. I don't know what my voice did there. Cyclops is the leader of the X-Men, and yet the way he was portrayed in the film, he's just not a likeable character. And I think the thing was, Hugh Jackman was such a perfect Wolverine, everybody sort of latched onto him, but now I'm just getting so sick of the fact that even when they do make a new X-Men film, it doesn't feel like an X-Men film. It just feels like another Wolverine film. So it would be nice to sort of see focus taken off of him, but obviously, Days of Future Past, it just fixed all the mistakes that they'd made. Obviously, it brought back the characters that we shouldn't have lost, and all in all, I just thought it was a really enjoyable film. And I've, with Apocalypse coming out now, my hopes are much higher for this one, because having seen Days of Future's Past, I'm thinking, well, if they can keep this up now and start rebuilding the franchise, I am really looking forward to Apocalypse, and hopefully they can just keep going from here, doing good things. And I don't know, I think it's hard because obviously there's so many mutants in the world of X-Men, but in a 2.5 hour film or whatever it is, it must be so difficult to give each mutant a decent amount of screen time, which is why I always liked the idea. You had the original X-Men trilogy, and then I thought they were going to go the route of, we had X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then of course they talked about doing Magneto Origins, which then just ended up being First Class. But I like the idea that they'd branch out more, and we'd sort of, it would be a way of just giving more screen time to mutants, finding out more about their backstories and what have you. Yeah, but I mean, obviously we're super happy with Quicksilver, because Quicksilver just made that film. Yeah, I'm probably gonna prefer the Avengers Quicksilver, just because it's the Avengers. But yeah, for me, there's a lot more to be unhappy about with the X-Men films than there is to be happy about. Little details, obviously the suits that they have are just people look, and they didn't even go with like the yellow and blue design or anything, just these plain sort of black, excuse me, suits. And it's just all these kind of little details, like the alternate ending for the Wolverine film is when he's on the plane and he actually gets given his Wolverine suit. He opens up this case and you see the mask, and I was flipping out. I was going mental, and obviously they just didn't use it, and they didn't like pursue it or anything. They just, so I personally feel that X-Men could do with a reboot, and just, you know, even if, because it's like I said, Hugh Jackman is such perfect Wolverine. So yeah, bring him back to be Wolverine, but I think, you know, you need more focus and better like, I think Halle Berry Storm's pretty crap in my opinion. You know, Cyclops was pretty crap. It's like I said, you need to really just rethink these characters, revamp it, give it new life. But all in all, after Days of Futures Past, I've got a little bit more faith in the product. Okay, so thanks guys. That was just sort of my X-Men rant. So we will be back when I'm talking about Comic-Con and how awesome it was. So thanks.